everyone, and welcome back. Today we've got an absolute gamer on the channel. This is Alex, taking us through Dark Souls 3, the DLC, cosplaying as Amy Rose herself. And Alex can definitely tell you a lot more about this run than I can, so whenever you're ready, feel free to take it away.
Thank you very much, sir. That is awesome. Yeah, I wanted to showcase the DLC, both DLCs for this game, back to back. And we're doing non-vanilla SRB2 stuff here, but I still wanted some Sonic flair, so I decided to make my character Amy Rose, or at least the closest I could emulate. But Amy is, she's gonna need her hammer. Where's her hammer? Watch out! There you go. Look at this monstrous thing. Smo's hammer, this thing that single-handedly made a bunch of people quit Dark Souls 1. I knew that had to be the hammer that I used for this run. How do you get to the DLC? Well, you're going through the game. You get to the Cleansing Chapel. This is just like naturally in the main game. You get to this point. And then there's this dude here who's muttering to himself. And you talk to him. I'm going to obviously skip through a bunch of this stuff. But he notices that you are one of Ash, and I'll kind of get into the lore and stuff later. So we're going to skip this cutscene. When we load into this area, that is when time starts. So that is going to be now. All right. So, so let me just, there's going to be a lot of just running, so that'll give me plenty of time to sort of lore dump on you, because I'm an absolute nerd for this series. So the way that the world works in Dark Souls is basically, life started with the appearance of the first flame that sort of brought, like, life and death, light and dark, yada yada. And every generation, the first flame sort of fades and dies, and then the Age of Dark begins, and eventually the first flame sort of rekindles, comes back, that's a new Age of Fire, and it goes between those cycles like that. Real quick, this chapel here, we can go there, but there's no reason for us to go there yet. It just uses up a bunch of time, so we're just gonna not do that. But there's a couple important characters that we can meet there. Sister Frida and her knight, Sir Wilhelm. I'll talk about them in a minute. But yeah, so this first DLC takes place in the Painted World, which is much like the overworld in Dark Souls. It goes through cycles. It is basically a world inside of a painting. And so the world goes on, and eventually it starts to rot. And then, yeah, these guys are the loudest thing in the entire game. I don't know what happened to the audio balancing here, but whatever. So you can see the world is rotting, and that is sort of like, oh, this guy's gonna troll me, isn't he? Oh, he's gonna troll me. Okay, well, tried to get to that ladder before he... There's no point in trying to climb it now, because he's... Oh, well, maybe I can get up. Yeah, okay, there we go. He can knock you off that ladder, and it's real annoying. Okay, but anyway, yeah, so the world in the Painted World starts to rot, and the only thing to do is to sort of burn it away, and then the painting itself has to be repainted and restored, and then that begins like the new cycle of the world. And every time it's the same world, you'll see the same elements, but it's configured differently. The world has changed, even though it is the same world. It's just a new iteration. And so that is sort of where we catch... Oh, and to further show that building back there, over there, is actually where you go in Dark Souls 1 to meet Priscilla. So that's very, very cool to see. So the whole thing going on here is that the painting is not being burned. Because Frida, who I mentioned earlier, who's in the church, she is an outsider who tried to usurp the first flame. She is an unkindled like the player character, and the unkindled are candidates for linking the first flame, which is sort of to like extend it and extend the Age of Fire. Um, but she went into hiding in this painted world, and she's kind of made this her home, and she does not want it to burn. So she has kind of gotten into the ear of Ariandel, who is the one who restored the painting last, to sort of convince him that this world should not be burned and they can hold on to it. And so that's a problem. Because the people of the painted world are totally fine. They understand that burning the painting is just part of the cycle. But now this outsider's kind of messing things up a little bit, and now we're fighting her knight, Sir Wilhelm. Yeah! Oh, that was a good Wilhelm, actually. Okay. Now, why is Wilhelm here? And why did he try to kill us? Well, if we go up here, we see an NPC here. We're not going to waste time talking to her, but she is a painter, and she actually wants to create the next iteration of the painted world. And obviously Frida does not want that at all, so she had her locked up in this building and had Wilhelm guarding her. But now we have freed her. Now, if you talk to her, she mentions her uncle Gale. Gale is the guy who took us here at the beginning. I skipped the cutscene and forgot to mention how he got us here. So he actually had a piece of the painting that he got us to touch, and it sort of sucked us in, took us in here. He is trying to bring us in to help the painter get free and sort of get the elements that she needs, because the two things that we need are fire, and she needs paint. But the paint is going to be special. She needs the blood of the Dark Soul, which I'll get into explaining that and stuff. But yeah, so right now we are... Oh boy. Part's a little scary, because he can knock you right off that cliff. So yeah, we are bringing the fire right now, and then the second DLC is about getting the paint. So this part can get annoying. I'm hoping that I don't get leeched here. Take a bunch of fall damage, but it's faster. Heal up, and then these guys like to troll me. Oh, this is looking real trolly. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to dodge to the left. Please don't leech me. Oh my gosh, I did not get leeched. Okay. Yeah, getting leeched is real annoying because it's just these occasional bursts of damage. Not the most fun thing in the entire universe. Alright, so, what we just did is we just opened up a passageway into the room where Father Ariandel is being kept, and we are going to go confront him, because he has the flame, but he is keeping it sort of tamed by drowning it in his own blood, which is just so Dark Souls, of course. So we're going to rest here. That is Sister Frida. She's about to not be very happy with us. So let's get our hammer out. And this is Ariandel. Alright, so skip this cutscene. It's just Frida coming in to stop us. And this is the fight I'm most worried about. This is my favorite boss fight in any game ever. Oh, I thought I was out of range of that. That's fine. I'm so happy that I get to show this boss off to you guys. She's very quick. This hammer's a little slow. I'm used to dex builds, so it's been interesting kind of learning which openings I can or can't take with a slower weapon. Oh my gosh. Thought that was a different attack there. You have to really know how to track her when she does that. Okay, so we're going into phase 2. I'm going to let this cutscene play, actually. It's going to use up time, but this is like my favorite cutscene in any of From Software's games. It is so hype. Alright, we got a duo boss. Now they share one one health bar, so hitting either of them will deplete that health bar. But Ariandel takes way more damage than Frida does. The tricky part is making sure that Frida doesn't get too close, because if they team up on you, it is bad news. Okay. Oh my gosh, I thought I dodged that. Interesting. Now, okay, Frida can sort of heal them, so we don't want her to do that, obviously. My dodges are not good today. Oh yeah! There we go. Alright, and with that, we have defeated Ariandel. However, Frida is not done with us yet. Alright. Okay. Should be the last hit coming up here. Oh my gosh. Okay, well. Alright, and we got her. There we go. Alright, I didn't die. That was the boss I was the most concerned about, so that's pretty cool. So yeah. So now the painted world is burning. And so now we need to go get paint. So, in order to get there, we have to go through the dreg heap. Let's sit down and recover a little bit first. So the dreg heap is basically this place where space and time is sort of collapsing in on itself. I'll show you the scenery. It's very, very, very cool. Just so I have time to sort of get into the lore of the next boss. So one of the things that happened after the first flame started to fade was Gwyn was trying to find ways to sort of artificially lengthen it. One of the things that they did was the Witch of Izalith created the Chaos Flame, trying to basically make their own flame so that they didn't need the first flame anymore. And famously, it went horribly wrong, destroyed a lot of stuff, and one of the side effects was the creation of the demons. Another side effect was the witch herself becoming the worst boss that FromSoft has ever made, but that's a different matter entirely. So yeah, the boss coming up is going to be the last two demons left in the world. And this area here is Earthen Peak from Dark Souls 2. So if you've played Dark Souls 2, you should recognize this windmill here, which is super cool. There's a whole swamp area over to the right here that you have to go through that is full of these stupid flying angel guys who just bombard you with shots that are extremely difficult extremely difficult to dodge. These guys here, yeah. They melt your health bar, and so you kind of have to just sprint to the end of it and hope that you survive. We don't want to do that. That's dumb. That's dumb and bad. So instead, we're going to play it safe here. We're going to do a little skip where we jump down onto this branch, and that takes us down the side of the cliff, and then we just skip the entire swamp up there, which is much better and less aggravating. Okay. And so we're going to drop down into here, and that's going to be our bonfire before the next boss. So yeah, the demons are all connected to the Chaos Flame, and they all kind of sort of share its power and its energy and stuff. So these being the last two left alive, they're pretty strong. We should be fine. I've gotten this fight pretty consistent, so shouldn't have any mishaps. You just have to really watch what they're both doing. Okay, there's the stagger, thank God. Alright, so... that one has... Yep, okay, so that one's down. Okay, there's the stagger. Playing it real safe right now. There we go. Alright. So the demons are down. Now, the thing is, because they all share the Chaos Flame, when there is one left, that has the Chaos Flame all to itself, and it can channel the Demon Prince. Here we go. Here's the real boss. Let's go. This laser beam is exactly what we want to see, because it's super easy to avoid, and it just leaves the dude vulnerable forever. There's the stagger. Nice. That's a really nice thing about using these big, heavy weapons, is you can stagger bosses so much with them. Ah. Okay, that's it. We win. Ugh. And we just happen to be right by the exit, so that's very nice. So this spot right here is the Firelink Shrine from Dark Souls 1, which just makes my heart so happy. So yeah, the cool thing about that fight is that we could have that second phase, the Demon Prince phase, is different depending on which demon you beat second. We just wanted to beat that one because its moveset is easier to avoid. So yeah, that we basically just held up the flag that we just got, and some gargoyles took us here to the Ringed City. This is the sort of last area of the run here. So, little bit of lore for this place. So when the first flame came about, there were like the four main souls that were created. There was the light soul, the dark soul, the life soul, and the death soul. So the pygmies are sort of like the ancestors of humans. They got the dark soul, and Lord Gwyn sort of gave them this city to all sort of like live in. And so the pygmies kind of moved into this city and took their dark soul with them. Now that, if you know the lore of the first game and stuff, you know that Gwyn absolutely hated humanity, hated the darkness, and so it seems kind of weird that he would gift them this whole big city here. But we'll get into that. So right here. That guy. Some Demon Souls placement right there. So yeah, we're just kind of making our way through. Avoiding this guy. Hopefully this person doesn't pin us to the wall. Okay. Coming down here. Don't hurt me. Okay. Alright, this part can be a little annoying. These guys can really troll me. Okay, cool. Nope, don't you do it. Okay. Okay, now this. Okay, okay, cool. Sometimes that section doesn't go super well. So this big guy, he summons more of the archers that we saw sort of like the beginning of the area. Okay, notice me late. We should be out of their range by the time we get over here. And now, yep, oh, well, got one shot off. This dude can be trolly. Okay, alright, we got the easy attack to dodge. Okay, so we're about to see a dragon named Midir. So he is a super ancient dragon. Yeah, right up there. So he's about to try to kill us. But that's fine. Should be able to dodge it. Okay, cool. A little bit of fire damage, but that's fine. You can drop down to this lower area to come back around. It's a little bit safer, but it's slower. So we're just going to run right in here. Okay. So, yeah. Midir is basically, his whole job, sort of, is to fight against the Abyss. The Abyss is sort of this force that got a focus in the DLC in Dark Souls 1. It's just sort of this pitch black, dark, nebulous void underneath the world. That Midir is sort of in charge of consuming, literally consuming, in order to fight against it. And so he's sort of consumed by it a little bit, and it's, you know, it's been millennia since he started his whole thing. He's sort of just, you know, this mindless beast now, just sort of carrying out the same actions that he's done his whole life. So a cool thing about Midir... Oh, almost dodged that. That's fine. So the cool thing about Midir is that you can actually knock him off of this bridge here, and you can find him down below as an optional boss fight, and it's a really good fight, but, you know, it's not necessary for beating the DLC and stuff. We are going to be opening up a shortcut here, just in case. This next boss should be fine, but you never know. So yeah, we are about to be encountering the next boss named Half-Light. Now the cool thing about Half-Light is that if you're playing online, Half-Light is actually going to be another player. It will... the Dark Souls games have, like, invasions. You can invade other people's worlds and stuff. If you invade in this area, you will get pulled in as this boss. And so the person going through their journey, reaching this point, has to fight you as the boss. It's very cool. They did that with one of the bosses in Demon Souls, Old Monk, and I'm glad that they brought the idea back for this, because it's a super cool idea. Ow. Oh my gosh, that attack is so fast. Okay. Okay. Alright, yay! Alright, so we beat the first person involved here. And then the second person's going to spawn right here. Hopefully I get the backstab. I did not, but that's fine. It's a very specific timing on that. Nope. Stop that right now. Okay, and now we are going to see Half-Light. There he is. So this is just sort of like the default character who you fight as the boss if there are no players around, or if you're playing like offline and stuff, which we are. He has a whole arsenal. So he switches up his moveset all the time. Now, yep, and then this guy gets summoned back again. So we don't want to be dealing with both of these freaks at the same time. Ow. Ugh, hyper armored's so good. Big hammer privilege. And hiya! Dodge that. Well, maybe. And okay, that was not a bad half-light. Okay. And so now we are moving on. Actually, we're almost done. We're moving on to the final boss here. So up here is Filianor. That is Gwyn's youngest daughter. He sent her here to keep watch over the city. But she sort of had another job here, which is she has this egg. And we'll skip the cutscene, but we basically come up and she wakes up and the egg crumbles and it sort of reveals what this city really is. So let's just rest here. Da-da-da. Okay, and so this city is actually in ruins. It is actually at the end of time, basically, when everything is sort of dilapidated. You can see Anor Londo in the distance there, which is a really nice touch. That's a very important location in the Dark Souls world. That's sort of where Gwyn and his family ruled from. So yeah, Gwyn hated the pygmies. He hated the Dark Soul. He sent them here to this wasteland and sent Filianor as well to keep up this illusion of this grand city of theirs so that they would be appeased and not try to leave or anything. And so here we find the final boss, and it is Gale. He has killed all of the remaining pygmy, and he is drinking their blood in search of the Dark Soul. So he is consumed by frenzy right now. And so we're basically putting him out of his misery and taking the blood so that we can take that to the painter so that she can make the next painted world. He is not doing his follow-ups. Okay, there we go. And you run away from this. There we go. Come on. Gale is such an awesome boss. And run away again. I'm just gonna heal. Let's go. Okay, so we're moving on to phase 2. Oh boy, here's where stuff gets hype. Let's go. Ah. Ah, just whiffed that. That's fine. And we want to run away. This is when the thunderstorm starts. So yeah, these things, wherever they touch down, that's where lightning is going to strike. Oh, and that's terrifying. So this is where you have to start paying attention to the little indicators on the ground for where the lightning's about to hit. Okay, didn't do his follow-up there. That's fine. Let's not get struck by lightning. That sounds fun. Ow. Let's heal real quick. By the way, time is not going to be on the last hit. It is going to be when the message Air of Fire Destroyed pops up. So when that happens, that is when it's going to be. I'll let you know when that's happening. Let's not get struck by lightning, actually. Okay, let's run away. Okay, and time is... now. Whew! Hey, that was a pretty good run, actually. That was pretty good. So just a little quick little outro here. Going to go back to Ariandel Chapel. We're going to go ahead and give the Blood of the Dark Soul to the painter. So yeah, as you can see, the place is burning. So yeah, we have the fire to burn the painting. We have the blood for the paint, and then we're just gonna climb up here. And give her that blood.
My thanks, Ashen One. With this will I paint a world. Please tell me thy name. I would name this painting after thee. My thanks. I will paint a world of that name. It will be a cold, dark, and very gentle place. And one day it will make someone a goodly home.
And so with that, the next iteration of the painted world will be the painted world of Amy Rose. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching me. This was super awesome. Yeah, glad I got to show this off. And good luck to the rest of the runners today. I can't wait to see what you all bring to the table. Thank you. Roll that clip, as they say.